You know, this is one of those fun little stories that I don't see anybody else talking about. And I think it's an interesting shift in the culture. And so it was something I kind of wanted to bring up because I'm sure many of you guys would actually find this entertaining. You know, Bud Light went woke, gosh, what was it? 3 years ago now, 4 years, whatever it was. Bud Light got the influencer Dylan Mulvaney there. That's the dude that likes to wear skirts, and all the news media is calling him a her. And went viral with Bud Light, of course, and Bud Light lost, gosh, 15% of its sales and lost something like $1.5 billion in sales almost immediately. Here we are 3 or 4 years later, and they have yet to recover. And Bud Light sees Sydney Sweeney going out and doing this American Eagle brand, obviously pushing something that the right is in support of, which is attractive, beautiful women with nice tits. And not only do men like looking at women like that, but women like women like looking at women like this. They say, oh, she's attractive, or maybe I need to go get my chest done, or maybe I need some Botox to look like that, whatever. Women like looking at pretty women too. I don't think there's any arguments over that. But Bud Light has said, you know something, we see this. The us reaching out to the woke gave us zero money, and it cost us our shirts. Instead, maybe we should be like American Eagle and reach out to the right, because they actually have money to spend. They're not paid protesters. They're not weirdos going to school and are $200,000 in debt. We could actually maybe sell our brand to people that actually have money and like America and believe that science is science and boys can't be girls and girls can't be boys. This is coming from Daily Mail. Sydney Sweeney could rake in $10 million if she goes ahead and inks a deal to be the face of Bud Light after the transmission fiasco. Sydney Sweeney can raise a glass to several weeks of bumper publicity, but she soon may be toasting with beer rather than champagne amid speculation that she might be the new face of Bud Light. Industry experts believe Sydney could turn the woke furor over her recent American Eagle jeans campaign to her favor by capitalizing on her popularity among conservative Americans and earn a whopping sum in the process. It's thought that anyone but you star could command a fee as much as $10 million from Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch, if it wanted to sign her up for a full-scale endorsement deal. The struggling beer firm is still looking to recover from an ad deal where the dude, also known as the woman, Dylan Mulvaney, that backfired spectacularly. The move cost the brand $1.4 billion in U.S. sales and led to a 15.3% drop in revenue. You know, yes, the American Eagle brand was well done, and it did the right thing, which is spark the anger from the left. And because the right likes to make fun of the left, when the left is freaking out over anything that is milder than mayonnaise, it became a huge viral sensation, and it did very well for the jean company. The problem Bud Light's going to have is they've already kind of made everyone on the right side or the conservative side. It didn't make them angry. It didn't make them, I mean, I guess it made some people angry, but it's quickly forgotten. It's so easy to be able to move from a Bud Light to a Coors Light and drink a different beer because nobody cares. And once you're on Coors Light, you say, piss water is piss water. I'll just keep drinking the Coors Light. I'm not going to go back to Bud Light. And so I don't think this ad campaign is going to work unless they do something that is really, really off their rockers and really agitate the left. If they're smart, they will. Because at least people out there will say, you know something? Bud Light came back. They're now celebrating pretty women with nice boobs. And I saw an American flag, and they seem to be going the right way. Some people will go out and at least say, okay, here's my apology. I'll buy a six-pack of your crap. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I've been boycotting Ben & Jerry's for a long, long time. I have a good memory when it comes to that stuff because Ben & Jerry's basically came out and said, if you don't support baby deletion and if you don't support the left and some of their crazy ideologies, don't buy our product. We don't need your business. And I said, okay, I will never buy your product again. It'd be the same way. You know, it's not hard for me to pick other ice cream. I still do like, but it's very easy to pick a different brand and just never go back. And even today, if somebody like Ben & Jerry's came out and, I don't know, had Joe Rogan or somebody else that I kind of listen to and I can appreciate, If Joe Rogan came out with a full-throated response of, oh, Ben & Jerry's is amazing, you guys need to go give it a shot, I'm not eating it. I won't lose any appreciation for Joe. I'll say, hey, make your money, Joe. I'm not going to stop, or I'm not going to start eating Ben & Jerry's because they're still woke. I'd just be like, I guess I'd be happy that Joe Rogan got a nice big paycheck, good for him, and I'm still not eating their crap. And it costs that company a lot of money. Maybe it puts them closer to bankruptcy. That would make me feel perfectly fine. You know, they say the struggling beer firm is still looking to recover from an ad deal with the trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney that backfired spectacularly. One of the representatives said Sydney Sweeney, the American Eagle campaign, delivered undeniable commercial impact. Denim sales surged and the brand stock climbed, he said. That kind of performance makes her a compelling candidate for Bud Light, especially as the brand considers options in responding to past criticism. They follow up with, although Anheuser-Busch executives have attempted to stabilize the brand through partnerships with celebrities like Peyton Manning, Emmett Smith, Post Malone, also Dana White with the UFC. Also, I think they did something with Trump or Trump Jr. Bud Light regained only 1.2 percentage points of its lost market share from May 2023 to February 2024. So up here, they say they lost, 15% of their market or something like that? 15.3% of their market by paying out Emmett Smith, a football player, Peyton Manning, Post Malone. I know they did something, like I said, with Dana White in the UFC. All of that money spent only gained them 1.2 percentage points back, which means they're going to have to do this for another 12 or 13 years to get back the money that they've blown so far. Sydney Sweeney is not going to move the needle. That's not the point. I hope she makes the money. That's great. But why this is so important is it does show you that it is better to kiss the ass of the average American, the consumer, the family, the man, the income earners. It's better to chase the people that just want to be left alone, crack a can of absolutely awful beer, sit on their porch and roast their hot dogs and hamburgers for the 4th of July. It's better to go after that market than a bunch of weirdos with purple hair that will cheer and love you for your commercial, yet they don't have any money to buy your product because they're students with $200,000 of debt, or they're, I don't know, they're professional paid protesters, whatever it is. They don't have any money. So you may get social media clout, but that's not going to put money in your pocket. And just like the American Eagle brand showed, you may get social media hate, but that also doesn't put money in your pocket. What does is money in your pocket. And American Eagle found that out, and Bud Light found out it didn't work so much. You know, I'm fine with them going after Sydney Sweeney. I'm glad they are. But this is important because it means the Overton window is swinging back to the right. Many times we say politics is downstream from culture. But in this case, culture is also downstream from politics. You know, everybody was on the board, the woke train and all the LGHD TV stuff, until people started protesting, until people started boycotting. Then the brand saw, you know something, this hurts a little bit. Then we had our elections. And say what you will about, I'm somebody that lives in a blue state, it doesn't do any good to vote. There were enough people that voted to make sure that Trump got the popular vote, which I don't think has happened since George Bush. Maybe it was Ronald Reagan. It hasn't happened in a long time for a Republican. So the fact that he got a popular vote tells these companies, hey, we are the majority of the country. We do not like what you are doing. We are not going to give you money. And like all things, all companies really don't care if you're part of the LGHD TV community. They don't really care about diversity. What they care about is brand and making money. Well, they're finding out, you know, something may be going with a woman who's got a pretty smile. She's popular. She is conservative. She just admitted that she's been registered as a Republican for the last year, I think. She was out on a range showing her skills with a long-range hole puncher. She's a conservative girl. And because the left got very angry at that, it makes the right want to support it all the more. When the two are flip-flop and the left supports it but the right get very angry, it means a real punch in the wallet because the conservatives, not all the conservatives, but the conservatives and the men and the people with families and the jobs, turns out they have real purchasing power. and the students in debt and the woke and the professional protesters and the people that are on all the government support that like to use their EBT, it turns out they don't have money to buy your products. And so it doesn't matter if they like you or hate you either way. I think this is a turn in the Overton window. I think it's a good thing. Now we just need to sit back and wait and see what happens. I think this year is going to be interesting as we watch the culture shift back to the right.